Hello.
Al,
Hey, how's it going?
what are you doing? Aloha, brother Dave Lawrence over at Hawaii Public Radio.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, I remember. How you doing, pal?
Very good, thank you, my brother. How about yourself?
Good. I've been just got back from Europe. I was over there for 7 weeks, and everything is good. Getting ready for West Coast starting in Hawaii.
Ah, it's
Imagine that.
it's gonna be huge. Well, we're rolling tape. I'm gonna use this. Try to get it on this Friday, if not right before the gig. But what a huge thrill to be welcoming you back, because you know what I was taking a look at, Al, was the cool graphic I saw. The Maui. You're doing a gig on Maui too, so Al's got Blue Note Thursday and Friday, September 4th and 5th. But he's at the Mac too, Saturday, September 6th, and they got that cool ad referencing your classic. Now it's 50 years practically. Land of the Midnight Sun. That was recorded a half century ago, huh?
Imagine that. Oh
Unbelievable.
God.
Unbelievable. So
Yeah.
tell us about the show, because I'm assuming you're going to be digging up some of those chestnuts.
Yeah, yeah. It's what the whole tour is. Geared up to be. So we're gonna cover. The early records. The first and second, third record. You know, as much as possible.
So it's going to be kind of raucous and a little bit heavy. Tell us about the band that you got with you.
I got Tommy Breckline. He's kind of a veteran on drums. He was played with Chick. He played on several bands of mine way back in the '80s, and played on several records of mine as well. And got Philippe Sace. He was in my first band, and he's kind of a veteran now as well. So he goes back to like my first band in '78, and he
Wow.
was on the Splendido Hotel record and Electric Rendezvous, and you know, third, fourth, fifth records. And Gumby Ortiz, who's a percussion, has been with me for mostly with me for more than 30 years. And then we have Elias Tone on bass, Venezuelan bassist, and that's it.
And of,
It's going to be a lot of fun.
and of course, you jump on a little percussion now and again yourself, don't you?
I'm a percussionist. I'm a guitarist second, percussionist first.
That's it, baby.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. When you see Al,
When I record, I play percussion.
I know he's
I
you
do all the percussion,
you hooked
except
that
for congas. I don't play congas because it really requires hitting them really hard, and it's not good for my hands.
right.
But all the other hand percussion I do. Yeah.
It's really cool when you see him live. Kind of like when you another one that might surprise people is when you ever go to see Peter Frampton back in the day, because he could play drums and he'd get up there and do all kinds of, he'd put his guitar down and just like you start doing all kinds of cool percussion.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know what's neat about that? Is that the record that starts with the Wizard, Land of the Midnight Sun?
yeah, yeah.
Is you?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Oh, that is such a really really cool jam. I really
Yeah,
that's a
yeah. So it was. People know that song. We have to do it. That one, and we do. We actually do the title track, "Land in the Midnight Sun," as well, which I haven't played that for God. It must be like 40 years or something or more.
whoa.
So I took that chart out of the closet and I said, man, I don't know what it's going to feel like playing it, But we on our last tour, it was like 4 months ago, I guess it was. We took it out, and it was like there was more to it than I thought.
So fans will
Yeah,
get a chance to not only, as the focus goes on to that era, they'll also be hearing stuff that hasn't been played in many, many decades. It sounds like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
And plus, we're going to include also some of the new music from the brand new record too, a little bit. Not too much, but definitely we'll get into it.
You
Going
did.
back to the first record, we'll also do Short Tales of the Black Forest, a duet I did with Chick.
Ooh,
So I'm going to do that with Philippe, and then we're going to do something from a Romantic Warrior, RTF.
yeah.
So we're gonna cover some bases, but the primary focus is the early records.
It's pretty gigantic. Yeah, you had a lot of special guests on that very first one too. If
Oh
people,
my God, I had Jocko's first record he's ever recorded on in life,
wow,
and Anthony Jackson and Stanley, three of the best bass players in the world at that time.
Right.
and Steve Gadd. I had Lenny White, and I had Alphonse Mouzon. Three of the top drummers at the time.
That was
So it
okay.
was heavy. I had Schick on the record, Barry Miles, Jan. I think, but I'm not sure if Jan was on the record. He might have been on the next two
Yeah, I don't think he
records.
was on the very first.
Yeah, yeah.
How did
Right.
you? You know what's a cool question? How did you first meet Chick? Is there a cool story how you first took? Because he factors so big in your
Uh,
life.
it's one of the cool stories you're going to ever hear. It's uh, I was going to Berkeley School of Music in Boston,
Yep.
and at that time, the guys that I was hanging out with, we were all big fans of Return to Forever. Even before they became Electric. So um, they came to town a number of times, and each time I go see them. And then the last time I saw them, Earl Klugh was playing electric guitar.
Hmm.
Can you imagine? Earl. The whole image of Earl is acoustic only, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And he was standing there with a Les Paul and a Marshall amp. I go, no, that can't be. You know. So I called a friend of mine. This is like, imagine this guy right out of Woodstock. He was 7 years older than me. He was my sister's friend. My sister's 7 years older. And he took a liking to my playing. We used to hang out and just listen to records. He was also like, he was always high. He was just the nicest guy in the world, but he loved smoking pot and whatever else was around. I wasn't. I was just a kid that loved music.
Right.
So I call him up, and I say, hey, Michael, I just saw Return to Forever. Oh, my God. I mean, I'd give anything to play with that band. I just kind of felt like Earl wasn't going to be with the band very long. And he was probably filling in until I found someone. So I said, boy, I'd love to play with that band. I didn't tell him to do anything. He goes out to New York City with a tape that he had made of me on New Year's Eve when I was either 17 or 18, playing with the Barry Miles Quartet in New Jersey. He came to the show. He brought his TIAC reel-to-reel 4-track, and he recorded the show. Before the show, he said, Al, it's New Year's Eve. Take this little tab I want to give you. I said, what is? I said, just take it. You're going to love it. It's New Year's Eve.
Oh boy.
It was LSD.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, it was the most beautiful experience ever for me. And it's the best I've ever played, still to this day. And I was playing things and I still can't figure out what I was doing. That was the tape that he went into New York City, found Chick, found the management, called their office nonstop until they would listen to that tape, bugged the hell out of them.
Oh wow.
They finally said, well, let's give it a listen. You never know. They loved it. So Chick calls me up personally at my apartment in Boston, and he says, Al, your friend Mike gave us a tape, and we're all blown away, and we want you to join the band.
Oh my.
And man, I was just, it's like almost like a dream that happened, I dreamt it. So he said, you got to come to New York right away for, I guess it was 2 or 3 days rehearsal. So I said, wow, okay. So I turned to my girlfriend. I said, I'm leaving. She goes, where are you going? To the store? I said, no. I'm leaving. This is it. So I got a ride all the way home to New Jersey because I had to go to rehearsal for 3 days in New York City. Because the next night was Carnegie Hall, sold out.
Oh my.
That was my first show. So I get home. My mother answers the door. She goes, what are you doing home from school? I said, Mom, I'm playing Carnegie Hall on Tuesday night. And my father's at the kitchen table with the paper open. He's looking over the paper. He goes, what are you doing home? You're not playing Carnegie Hall. Get the hell out of here. What are you talking about? I said, Dad, I'm playing cardio. This went on for an hour. He just couldn't believe it. So I go to the rehearsals. Luckily, I could read music because the charts were really long. Nervous as hell. They liked what I was doing. Son of a gun. I mean, I was an insecure kid, 19 years old, playing with my favorite band in the world. It was them and the Beatles. So they send a car out on the day of the show to the house to pick me up for the sound check. I take my parents. My father's in the car and she's shaking his head. I can't believe it. It's a hoax. What's going on? But Dad, no, this is really happening. It's happening. Who is it? I tried Chuck Corea. It's Chick Corea. It's Chick. It's my favorite band. You don't know how hot they are. Goes, well, I always to tell you how you get the cardio home. I said, I know. You just told me. It's practice. But I'm thinking to myself, acid. That's how I get the cardio home. True story. They never told Chick this.
Never?
No. He was a Scientologist, they were like...
He did.
Just, there's a lot of stories in that file cabinet, and I just I said, why not just tell them,
And you had
cool stories.
That's one of the most incredible stories anybody's ever told us. It's such an honor. But you never. So when you say Scientologist, backing up, so he didn't do any kind of partying, basically, kind of thing.
No, zero. No.
Wow.
I mean, he may have had a little drug period, but then when he found Scientology, I mean, in certain ways it did him a lot of good, but they were also very anti-drug and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
No problem. There was no problem because everybody in the band was drug-free.
Sure.
We weren't drinkers. We were like alcoholics. So it was really focused on the music.
The song that he's on Land of the Midnight Sun. Are you playing that at the gigs?
Song that he's on?
Yeah, the song that he was on that first record we were talking about, your classic.
He was on a piece called Short Tales of the Black Forest.
And you're going to be playing that?
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Man, you should drop some stories telling too. Man, you got a great gift at storytelling.
Yeah, I usually tell that story actually. People love to hear.
It's a
I never opened up on earlier years of playing. I was very shy.
No, I know you were. That's a great thing though. Then that people will be. I mean, that's a mesmerizing. I have a question that you may be able to help answer because I have not talked to him since then, and I've been kind of curious. When the Jeff Beck tribute concerts happened, the 2-night thing at the Royal Albert Hall, John McLaughlin was at that thing, and he played a Billy Cobham jam from Spectrum as like his contribution, which was interesting because I guess that Jeff would play that. I guess it was Stratus or one of those jams, and Jeff would play that.
Because Jan was on it.
Okay, so that's Tommy Bolin on that record from '73. So
yeah,
that's kind of, I guess. So the reason
I knew Tommy.
You knew Tommy.
Yeah, I knew Tommy. Tommy. Yeah, I kept running into him all the time, and I guess at first I don't think he was a heroin addict, but then he became one. And he was polluted with drugs by 74, 75, right around there.
Say that you broke up a little, Al.
He became a heroin addict. Was what his problem was,
Right, and then the 74, 75. What were you saying about that?
Oh, when I first knew him, I don't think he was yet an addict.
Okay,
he seemed to be fine, And I remember when that record came out because that came out when one of my records. I don't know if it was the first and second one. And yeah, I mean, Cobham's first album was phenomenal, and he's a big part of it. Him and Jan.
Yeah, right. The two of
Great,
them.
great album.
Yeah, I just thought
But
it
the
was
songs were simple. They were easy songs. There's nothing to them. Chick, coming from Chick, from RTF, I was very influenced by the composition aspect of the band. I think of all of those fusion bands, we were the composition band.
right. That's an interesting way of looking at it too. Um,
Yeah, and I'm still influenced by that. I think I'm more interested in composition than I am in soloing. Soloing is like it's okay, it's cool, but I'm not going to dominate the night with endless riffs.
no, you're
That's not
liking
me.
that with the songs. You know who's a great song guy who's on Maui, maybe, and he has roots right in your area, and now he lives on Maui. It'd be Paul Simon. You ever know him? Because he lives over there.
No, he doesn't live in Maui now, does he?
Yeah, he has. I mean, he has houses everywhere, but he definitely has a house there. I've had him on the show talking
Yeah,
about it. You could call me Al, whatever. That would be a great jam, the two of y'all on that thing.
yeah. But I know he moved to Texas from the Hamptons, and then I think he's back in New York again.
Really? Yeah, he
Not
could have
sure
been.
that.
He could have been. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think he's in Maui like much of the time. You know what I mean?
right? Maybe it's just part time kind of deal
Yeah,
over on Maui.
right,
Um,
right. I haven't been in Maui since the early '80s, so
it's a
gonna
big
be
deal.
interesting.
There's a lot of cats
Yeah,
over
I
there.
used to stay at the Hyatt, and when it was new in Kaanapali, and I
Right.
loved it. I used to go. I was friends with Bob Longhi, at Longhi's Italian restaurant.
Yeah, famous cat.
Yeah. Yep.
Very
Yeah,
famous
he's
cat.
gone. I used to hang out with George Benson in Maui. He had a house in Maui. I don't think he does anymore.
No, he doesn't.
But yeah, but every time I went, I used to go a lot there at the beginning of the '80s. And yeah, I always used to hang out at George's. The
George's
Hyatt was right there.
George has
Hmm?
a kid born there at the Maui Memorial. He likes to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Amazing.
You got your Hawaii connections. Well, we can't wait to have you on the back in the islands too. We just had Tool on. Are you a Tool fan?
You know what? What I heard of Tool, I thought was really cool.
Right on.
Uh,
There you go.
Sorry for the pun, but yeah, uh, I got to listen to some more of them. They're really out there, but in a good way.
And we got the Monkeys coming up too. Mickey Dolenz.
I'd love to meet Mickey. I was a Monkees fan way back when.
Same. You gotta be. Of course you are. Well, it's gonna
You
be
gonna
good.
be there when I'm there? Probably not, right?
Oh no, he's coming the month after you. So we're not gonna have Mickey here when you are. But
Gonna be at the Blue Note.
he's gonna be. Gosh, I can't even remember. No, he's at a theater downtown.
Uh,
But it was fun putting together his bit because I got to make a little collage with all those tunes, and it really was like heavy duty, like remembering some of the jams they used to play on the TV show and stuff.
uh,
So it was fun. Final story from you, and then we'll let you go. You've gotten to meet so many people. And one of your great stories you told us about the Paul McCartney that time when he was renting the place out on Long Island.
uh,
Of all of your times though that you've met somebody who you were surprised, you didn't expect to meet them, and you were starstruck? Was there ever a moment you met someone you couldn't even speak, you didn't even understand how to communicate with them? You were so shocked you met them.
well, it was. Paul was one for sure, but I knew he was. I knew he lived next door.
Right.
It was just one of those things. I rented a house, and I was in the middle of recording at Abbey Road. I'd come back to try to finish it in New York, and the sound was just didn't match Abbey Road. Abbey Road was so superior. So I knew I had to go back to London. So I just wanted to take some time, since it was, very heavily booked studio and very expensive. I wanted to get all the arrangements right. So I said, I'm going to get away because I was going through a divorce at the time and rent the house and just seclude myself somewhere in a place that I've never been. And I always wanted to go to the Hamptons. So I looked in the paper. I found this house, you know, nothing outrageous. And the guy said, your next door neighbor. He eventually told me it was Paul McCartney. And I just completely, I remember I dropped my spoon in my soup. I was just completely blown away with that. And when I got there, he was there. He was right in the driveway, which his driveway joined my driveway. It was amazing, you know.
And
So that was one, and then another one was when I had my first band. Uh, I was warming up before the show in New York. I was playing at the Beacon Theater, and I was facing kind of the door was in back of me to the dressing room, and I was facing the wall. And I'm just warming up, and I hear a voice. I hear the door open, and I hear a voice go, "Hey, what kind of guitar is that?" And I as I turned around, I go, "It's a Les Paul." Holy shit! It was Les Paul.
wow.
It was the man. And hey, I'm playing a Les Paul. Oh my God! And that was the beginning of a friendship. You know, he used to come over to my house all the time. You know, talk about a legend, man.
What? I mean, and all those gigs at the Iridium, did you go sit in with him sometimes there?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I had him play on my what was the fourth record, Splendid Hotel.
Wow. Oh, so it was like right in the beginning, right, of your whole career. So it was a real early time to get to meet him.
Yeah, he used to come over to the house. He would get down on the floor and get real close to my left hand just to figure out how are you doing that? I can't understand it. Maybe like screaming, how are you doing that?
Wow.
And I go, oh my God, let's look at this. You know, who would have thought?
You've gotten so many cool
Maybe.
encounters. Well, we're gonna have our own with him. He's coming back to town. It's the great Al Di Meola, and if he isn't burning on the guitar, he's a great storyteller too. Blue Note Hawaii, Thursday and Friday, September 4th and 5th. It's true, my brother. And the Mac Saturday, September 6th. I hope you have fun telling your stories when you're on, because I really enjoy it.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm looking forward to it.
And you stay safe, and thanks for doing this again, Al. We really appreciate it, brother.
See you soon, very soon.
Yup.
Take care, bud.
Aloha,
All right,
bro.
Dave.
Bye.
Bye-bye.